If there was a new cast, I think there's a high chance that I would go back if they invited me. Who knows if I'd even be invited at this point.
Have you heard from, or did you ever speak to Kameron after everything, or no, still never have?
Nope. And sometimes I'll talk to people and they'll be like, tell me all that drama with you guys was like fake, manufactured just for TV or whatever. And I was like, I wish I could tell you that, but that was all real. And actually the most vile, disgusting parts of it were off camera, happened not, during filming, but like after we filmed Reunion.
Right. Well, it's true that like her husband and her brother tried to get you fired from your job, right? Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes. So her husband and his brother, which I'm like, men, like sit down, take several seats, because last time I checked, this is called Housewives of Dallas, not House Husbands of Dallas. And then like his brother getting involved, I'm like, who are you again? Like what do you have to do with any of this? So they went on social media and insinuated that I was racist and then tagged my employer. So that's when I had to get my lawyer involved, and I issued a story with Variety, and Bravo then issued their public statement on social media the next day. So that was just a big mess. But I was like, how dare you take this little TV drama and turn it into something that actually affects my well-being, my career that I worked my entire life for to become a physician and a highly respected one at that. And how dare you try to tarnish my name because of some silly social media slander? Like I was just so over it at that point.
I don't blame you. I mean, I can't imagine, like you said, it's like when you put things in perspective, it's a silly TV show compared to your entire career that you've worked so hard for.
Yeah, but I wouldn't expect her to understand any of that.
Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, would you ever sit down with her and have a conversation if she ever wanted to?
I always say that like when there's a will, there's a way. Maybe as time passes and the wounds aren't so fresh and I don't feel so, betrayed, that we could eventually sit down. But at this point, it's like, what's the point? Like, we're never going to be friends. I don't have hatred in my heart for her. I actually would love for her to like maybe realize what she's done and sort of, become a better person. But I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I probably think that she thinks she did nothing wrong.
Yeah, definitely. If the show, because, Dallas, people love Dallas, and there's always talk that maybe it would come back on Peacock in a couple years after this hiatus. Would you go back or would you go back if there was a new cast?
If there was a new cast, I think there's a high chance that I would go back if they invited me. Who knows if I'd even be invited at this point. I think I would, because part of me feels like I didn't get the full Housewives experience. And what I mean by that is, when Deandra was like telling me to be on it and have a call with the casting agent, she was like, oh, and every year they pay for us to go on a fancy trip somewhere, and you're going to make all these new girlfriends. We're super fun. And, you'll get invited to things like Fashion Week. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like that's kind of why I signed on. And then we filmed in the middle of a pandemic. Our exotic cast trip was to Oklahoma. I did not go to Fashion Week. I did not make any new girlfriends. And I was like, this totally blows. Right. So in many ways, I would like a do-over with a new cast. Like at least half of the people need to not be on again. and if you all knew, that would be just fine. Me, Deandra, and 4 new ladies would be perfect.
Perfect. Sign you up.
Yeah, and Mama D, is the 7th housewife, I always say.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I love that and I know that you and Chrisley are good friends. Do you keep up with Beverly Hills? Do you watch that season at all?
Yes, I started watching Beverly Hills the first season that Chrisley was on to like support her. And it's also more interesting like when you actually know someone, right? And she'll tell me a little bit of the behind the scenes, whatever. So I'm like, ooh, I want to see how it plays out. So yes, I'm really good friends with Chrisley. I saw her maybe a couple months ago. But usually when I'm in LA, we try to meet up because I'm in LA at least, 3 or 4 times a year. But she's great.
She is great. How do you think she handles these ladies?
She struggled a little her first season, which is like, because it's so weird to have these cameras in your face and, do these confessionals and talk about things. So I think she struggled a little on her first season, but I think she got her like sea legs season 2. And then, I saw like recently on an episode, she like confronted Erica and I was like, you go girl. Cause we're all at home, like saying those things, right? Like, why don't you just give the earrings back? Like whatever, and she like stood up to Erica, which, I think can be quite intimidating. So I think she's getting her groove.
I thought she did a good job. I really did.
She's doing an amazing job. I told her, I was like, girl, you got to carry the torch for us. Cause I was like, I'm out,
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.